Hello, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be servicing and doing a few other bits on my new car. This is a Mazda MX5 NB 2.5 from 2001. As always, when you're servicing your car, especially changing the oil, I have two appropriate axle stands and a jack stand. Make sure they're rated to the weight of your car. With a small car like this that weighs a ton, you shouldn't need to worry. So I've got two axle stands so the car lays flat. So what we're going to do first is we're going to jack the car up by lifting it up, and we're going to place the axle stands underneath. So underneath this car there are appropriate jack points and places to put the axle stands. That'll be a structural frame. For good measure, I'm going to put the handbrake all the way up. You know, that's really nice and far up. So apparently directly under the mirror, if you follow the line all the way down here, you can jack up the car from these rail points here at the pinch welds, I think they were called. This must look really messy, but I'm just trying to protect these rails here. So I've got that placed underneath the rail, the point there. I'm going to slowly let this out and let it sit on that rail there, and move on to the next side and do the next side. Again, messy looking, it's fine. We've got this underneath the point here. It was a lot clearer to see where the notches were on this side. And if you can see there, you got boom, boom, right there. That should be fine. I know it looks a little weird. I was a little nervous at first, but hey, there was a video on the internet, the guy doing it as well. So what I've got as well is this jack stand. It's not against the car, but it's very close at the top. So if for some reason these did fail, it would fall and land on this. I have chocked the rears with some bricks. What I might do is grab the spare tyre and slide it underneath the car as well. Yeah, I decided to add the spare tyre. I mean, it's a space saver, so it's a lot thinner than a regular tyre. So if this did fall on me, that might just save me a little bit. It's from the Daihatsu, by the way, you know. Well, I think that would fit this car anyway, regardless. Anyways, here we go. For the last safety precaution, give the car a good old shake. So you're going to grab there we are, I'm wiggling it side to side. That ain't going anywhere. That's pretty solid. So rest assured you can go underneath this car safely without it dropping on you. Okay, so we're underneath the car, we're checking it out, and we seem to have a wet oil pan, which is it's a little worrying. I mean, it's not a serious oil leak, but there is a slight drippage from somewhere which I cannot seem to see where it's from. But anyways, it's still, with the jack stand, it's rather tight underneath this car. But looking at it all, underside chassis wise seems fairly clean. But these bits here, yeah, and over here, there's a lot of corrosion here, a lot. I mean, this bit's easily replaceable if you can find one. All the way up here, and it's been sprayed. Someone's come here and they've sprayed it to like cover it up in some sort of like, I don't know what this is. It's powdery, but it's sad that they've just sort of sprayed over it and hoped for the best, which is a little annoying. Anyways, nonetheless, I believe the drain plug is a 19mm drain plug here, located on the offside of said engine. So the earlier models had a 19mm socket. This is actually a 17mm socket. This is a 2001 NB. So what we're going to do is just slide. Oh god, hang on, I need to shimmy myself around a little bit. There's not enough room. So what you're going to want to do is crack that loose with a 17mm socket. Apologies, it's an incredibly tight squeeze underneath here, but once you've cracked it loose, I have to use both hands for it. It should, in theory, yeah, you should just be able to hand unscrew it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to unscrew that a little bit. Then we're going to go back up to the top of the car. And to aid to the flow of the oil, we're going to unscrew the filler cap. See, this engine's nice and warm. It's nice and toasty. I wouldn't want to touch the oil that comes out of it, but it's definitely at a running temperature. Good idea to give that a good old examine. Don't smell gassy, which is good. Give that an examine in there. You see that? You see that brown tarnished oil? Yeah, that needs changing. That needs a change. It needs a flush almost. So yeah, so what we're going to do is we're just going to rest the cap, sort of like that. Make sure no one comes along and knocks that off. And here we are, back underneath the car. Make sure your oil pan is slightly you know, in front of the drain plug because it's going to shoot out this way rather than go straight downwards. So if you adjust it so it catches it if it goes straight down when it starts to slow down, but initially the flow is going to push it forward. So as you're loosening this cap, make sure you bring the crusher washer with it as well, or else you'll be fishing around for that in the hot oil. I think we got the washer with us. Yeah, should be all good. Alright, we're going to be quick about this because this is going to be hot oil and I don't want to get this on my fingers. There we go. Nice. Oh yeah, that is nice and warm. That is nice and warm, but it looks good. It needs changing, that's for sure, but it doesn't look discoloured. There's no water in there. It's dark oil. It definitely needs changing, but it doesn't look discoloured, which is very, very good to see. This is a nice, healthy engine that's hopefully been looked after. So that's fantastic. This is good news. The oil is definitely in need of a change, though. It is black. Very dark coloured. Anyways, I'm going to get out of here and just let this drip. Finish off draining. I'm going to take these gloves off because they're now useless. Yeah, good idea to put some cardboard down just to rest your oily parts on. Next up is to remove the oil filter. Now this is a bit of a pain to reach, and what I'm going to use is a pair of rubber gloves to get that extra grip strength. But your best bet, if you have sort of wideish hands, you can go underneath the car. If you turn the wheel all the way this way to the left, there's a little wheel well that you can stick your hand up into and grab it, but it's really awkward if you want to get a nice grip and a twist on it. So what you want to do is this little gap down here. I don't know if you can see the oil filter. There it is. That annoying thing right there. It's in a very, very annoying place. Might be better without the torch, to be honest. I can try and get it on camera. There we go. You see that there? So what you want to do is you want to stick your hand in here, right? You want to maybe move this hose, get right underneath it, and you want to grab it, and then you just want to twist it. You want to grab that, twist, all your strength. You're going to be using up all your strength here, and, oh my god, if the previous owner has only done it up hand tight, you should only need to do it up hand tight. That's all it's needed to loosen up. I think it's, oh, it's dripping everywhere. Hang on, let me get this off real quick. Let me twist it off as fast as I can. And, oh god, it's probably gone all over the floor. Oh dear. Oh dear. No, the pan's caught most of it. There's the oil filter. The pan has caught most of it. Oh. So, what we're going to do is we're going to put the new parts back on. So we've got a new oil filter. This is a man filter. You can buy an MX5 OEM filter, but this is perfectly fine if you're on a bit of a budget. And this is 10W40 fully synthetic gasoline or diesel, but it's pretty much just a generic Castrol oil. Now I know Castrol, they're a good brand, and there's a big, you know, variation in the MX5 community as to what oil to put in. Now if you're racing the car, or you're revving it, or you're using it often, or you're taking it on track days, you know, and you want a nice high performance oil, go for it, by all means. But this is a slow, nice, relaxing driver for me. I probably won't use it as much over winter, that's for sure, but I don't rev this. I treat this really nicely. I love driving it, you know, sensibly. So good old standard engine oil is fine. If it's 10W40, if it's 5W30, if it's, I think, 10W30, it doesn't really matter. There's so many opinions out there. You can't get a straight, honest answer from anyone. I kind of wish there was, but I'm happy with this. This is just engine oil, and to be honest, because the oil clearly needs to be changed more often, I'm going to be changing this in the next 3,000 miles. I'm going to get a new filter, new oil, so I'm probably going to buy a different brand. I'll probably buy a Shell brand, like the Shell Helix, or Rotella, or Mobil, or what's the other brand out there? Yeah, that's pretty much it. So it doesn't really matter what oil you put in. As long as you drive the car, the condition you drive it in, it doesn't really matter. You're going to want to hand tighten this all the way down. So there we go. So it's nice and hand snug. That feels nice. Okay, so with the new oil filter, I've pre-filled it slightly and wiped some oil around the rubber rim. And you're just going to screw it into the housing down there. So I knew getting it back in would be awkward, so I decided not to pre-fill it up all the way. So I pre-filled it a little bit, let it soak into the plastic, no, the paper filter. And what I'm doing is, I'm literally just screwing it back on here, nice and quickly as I can. And now here we go, I'm starting to feel that rubber seal snug down. So I'm going to keep turning it as much as I can with my hand, to the point where I can't turn it anymore, and then I'm just going to stop. And that is totally fine. You should be totally fine leaving it like that. It's exactly how I found it, it's exactly how I've been driving it, and it's exactly how it should be. So do not worry about having to tighten it down anymore. So I'm getting to the point now where it's really, really stiff, and I'm trying to make sure that I've got a nice seal, as well as it not being too tight. And I'd say that's alright. I'm going to put on a pair of rubber gloves. My hands are still nice and clean, no oil dripped on them, so if you wash your hands, if you've been working on a greasy car, oily car, you got oily fingers, go wash your hands, get rid of all the grease, and you should have more tightening power to get it on. I also go climbing, so I've got a lot of hand strength. So if you're not a strong person, go grab a strong friend. Get him to help you out. So, with the oil drained, with the oil drain plug screwed back in, the old oil filter's off, and the new one is back in with a little bit of pre-fill. We now need to fill it up with fresh oil. Now this car, with the oil filter off, because a lot of oil is contained in the oil filter, it's a couple 100 ml, 200-300 perhaps. With the oil filter off and a new filter back on, this car takes 3.8 litres of engine oil. Okay, so I filled up the oil, I've topped it up to a rough amount, and to remove this and change the air filter. So, first of all, you want to remove the boot, the intake boot, by unscrewing this. It's a JIS screwdriver, should fit. Phillips should be fine if this screw isn't buggered, but I'd recommend buying some JIS stuff, especially if you're going to be doing a lot more work on your Japanese vehicles. I own another Japanese vehicle and 2 vintage Japanese motorcycles, so a JIS screwdriver set is essential, and it comes in handy, just like this. This engine bay could do with a nice little clean. It's fresh, it's stock, which is really nice to see, but really dusty. Really, really dusty. And you can see all the oil staining from where people have filled it up, previously. You can see on the manifold as well, just the oil dripping off there has cleaned off all that dust, so the exhaust manifold and all of this like pitted aluminium, it could look a lot nicer. But to be honest, I do kind of like the stock look. It's a used car. It looks used. I kind of like it. But we're going to change this air filter anyway because I'm unsure on the condition of it. So it's good to change it. Let the engine breathe free and clean. So yeah, just unscrew this, put off the boot, and we should just need to undo some of these clips. And the filter housing should lift upwards. So really easy to do. You just want to unscrew that, remove the loosen the tubular clip, and then remove the two sort of latches, like metal clips, on the left side of the air intake, and we've revealed the filter. Now this is the filter that we're changing, and actually it looks really clean, which is good. This is a good sign. So this is the stuff that's going into the engine. So this is going to be nice and clean. In here is going to be a little dusty. This is the fresh air that comes in. It goes in this tube all the way around, it goes underneath, and it goes up through the filter. So underneath here should be a little bit more dirty, because this is the clean side, in theory, the clean side. And as you can see here, there's some contaminant. There's some contaminants in here. And it does look a little murky, a little dusty. So, yeah, good idea to change this. But nonetheless, it looks clean. It's still red, which is the the stock colour. The filter I'm replacing it with is also red, so I assume it's probably the same filter. So yeah, once you've got this clips off, you just want to slowly push this to one side. Be careful of the sensor here. It's quite delicate. It's the mass airflow sensor. So you just want to be nice and gentle when moving this out of the way. But that should be enough room for you to access what you're looking at. If you can get it to maybe latch against there. There you go. There you go. So that's nice and secure, isn't it? So yeah, you just want to move that hose out of the way as well. And this should really just lift off. Like, no problem. So, there's the old filter, and here's the new one. And we're going to change it right now. Well, there's the new filter. Looks nice and clean. And here's the old one. This is the side that was exposed to all the bad air that it was pulling in. So not too bad, but definitely full of contaminants and soiled. Some strange colour. I can't tell if this is a blueprint filter. No, it is a different company that made this filter, but I assume that the original colour was red. I guess red is a good indication of this is a new filter. This is a used filter. If it was blue, then the blue could just be a dark blue. If it was green, the green would just look a bit strange. Yeah, check this filter for any particles, because in shipping, right, if the box is slightly open, maybe it's being shipped in a cardboard box, you could get bits of cardboard stuck in these fins here. So just give it a blow, give it a shake out in some, you know, clean outdoor air, and just make sure that there's, when you're installing your new filter, that there's no contaminants in here, which I have just checked. There was a little bit of contaminant, so I did shake them out, and this is all nice and clean and fresh and ready to go in the engine. So let's get this installed right away. Okay, with the oil removed from the oil pan, removed from underneath the engine, what we're going to do is we're going to lower the car back down to the ground and check the oil and run the engine, let the oil flow around the system, let it drop down again, and then check the level again. And we're going to leave it running as well, and we're going to check for leaks, just to make sure that we've done everything up nice and tight and everything is safe and secure on the car. Okay, car's on the floor, I've checked the level. It's slightly lower on the full mark, which is good. That means that lowering the car has leveled the oil properly. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start it and see what happens. Right, well, to change these wiper blades, what you want to do is you want to remove them so they're facing upwards. And then you want to twist this wiper blade so it's facing the sky, or whatever direction this is down here. So you want to twist this around here, facing upwards, and then on that one, all I did was pull this downwards, and on here, I'm going to try the same thing, but I've got a feeling that maybe there's a little button on this I can press to pop it loose. Or I do simply just push on this to slide it off. There we go, yeah, alright, just push on it. There you are. So you want to push on it and just slide it off the car. These wiper blades will get in. Oh shit. Fuck me, that's spring loaded and that's metal. I'm glad I didn't chip the windscreen. However, there's already a chip in there. So, no biggie. No biggie. Anyways, yeah, try not to let that happen. And yeah, these wiper blades were dog shit anyway. They were really needed replacing. When I'm driving this car in the wet, I can't see. Genuinely. Cannot see anything. So yeah, they need replacing. Oh, another fun bit of MX5 maintenance. Clear out those drain holes. Clear out those drain holes. They were not clear when I bought this car. I've been sat for many years. And the owner did remind me to clear them out. So it's the first thing I checked. So I washed the car when I first got it. I washed it, and I forgot to clear these out first. I think you can just see underneath there that this one here is also clear. Hang on, let me get the torch on. It's a bit annoying. It's a bit annoying to see because there's stuff in the way. You know, there's a bunch of shit in there, but it's still clear, which is good because water just needs to run through it. That's all. But yeah, another bit of Mazda maintenance. Clear them out. If you have a thin funnel, let's say, like a really thin, hello, what's going on with the focus here? If you have a really thin funnel, you could squeeze that funnel in there and pour some warm water in it, and it will drain straight out. And that should be a really easy way to maintain the drainage holes. I wasn't too sure on the sizes of the wipers as to what side they went on, but I don't know. This looks okay, right? That looks fine, I think. So yeah, new wipers. They seem to work a lot better than the old ones. So let's see what happens.